Hey, what's up, guys? So, this is the first trial of the last week, week 7, and currently I'm at 144, my ranking. So, I would think that the only way to make top 100, I would think, is to go 3-0. So, I'll plan it that way because, it's got nothing to lose if I don't make it. And as well, I'm 33 points away from M3, so that looks like a 3-0 as well. My opponent is Hank, and here are Hank's stats. He's a punch-up. I'm not as worried about the TCP. I'm more worried about his strongest team power because he's got quite a bit on me that way. And here are my stats. And so this is what I'm running on defense. I changed things up a bit. So you can take a quick look here to see how this may go for me. And this is my opponent's defense. And we have similar type styles because I was very much thinking to run the Night Stalkers with Morgan. Of course, mine are nowhere near that size. And the similarity would be I thought about doing Bishop with the Extreme Rogue. And he's doing Sasquatch as well with the Spider Society. I was very much thinking to do the 4 out of time and 2 as well. And he has a really big team there. So all of the teams are really big. They're bigger than mine. Well, the key ones are, meaning Orchis and, of course, the Night Stalkers. So this will be interesting to see if I can pull this off. But let's go ahead and get started and see how it goes. So my first thought is, since this is one of the bigger teams, this might be a harder room. And my Night Stalkers are not as big as his, but I had a similar team in one. We had the same team in one, and it was countered with Tangle Web. Now, I figure if I go in with Apoc, that makes it a for sure deal. And so I wanted to play it safe, and I'm taking Apoc. The counter was used against me. The guy had Kestrel, so I said I'll take an Infinity War Iron Man. I actually ended up taking him up to 19 since I had enough of the Tech Teal gear. And so when this battle starts, I'm a little concerned because I'm like, well, their Blade does have an unavoidable, so if he hits, then that's a problem. But the main thing is I want to hit Moon Knight because I know his will do a lot of damage as an unavoidable. So I stunned the Moon Knight, and I don't even think the Blade can be stunned. But Blade goes in and he hits Apoc, and I was like, okay, I'm about to lose my Apoc. That could be a problem. But I didn't. So Apoc heals a little, and as Apoc gets to go and do his thing, the team really falls apart, meaning the Night Stalkers and Morgan. And perhaps I overestimated this team because I really needed to use Apoc in another room. And maybe I did need to use Apoc here. I'm not sure because they do have a lot of health being the new tunes and new stats. The thing I'm thinking is I probably could have chipped away at him and maybe had a chance. But you can see how easily this goes with Apoc. Blade was taken out. Morgan was knocked out with a ping. And so there's really not much left at this point, which makes me think that Apoc was overkill. And I really wish I could have not used Apoc here, maybe even Ares here, just because he can hit hard and he's a big tune. Not that Ares is doing anything else with that, and he does have an ability block. But I did use Apoc, so that's a learning lesson going forward that the Night Stalkers currently without Man-Thing just aren't that formidable against the Tangle Web team. And so here, I know Cabal works. I'm like, this is a big team. Let's just go in with Cabal because I think anything else would fail or I'd have to double tap. And I know I have to use Kang. So I said, well, I might as well use Kang and Titania because I know that works. And so the plan is to go in with those two. And when you have Cabal, Kang, and Titania, in Crucible, there's really not a whole lot to worry about, even though Scientist Supreme will clear the vulnerables. You can see here that they're placed right back on them. And Titania goes very early, so with the assist being the assist room, the bot is taken out. My thought is let's just slow down the middle pack, as we know that the Lady Deathstrike can cause a lot of problems, so we slow them down. And to my surprise, the Omega Sentinel comes in, and I was a little worried. I was like, should I switch targets? And so I thought maybe to hit her, and I said, no, let's just get Scientist Supreme out of there. Then we'll focus on the Omega Sentinel. And so once again, the assists help a little bit. get Scientist Supreme down, then we knock her out. And then so I target the Omega Sentinel just because I want to make sure I get the assist on her. And you can see how quickly she's gone. And then it comes down to Sentinel next, and I think Nimrod would be last to make sure this is a nice smooth counter. Now, I'm not sure because of the size of his team if anything else could be used for one shot. It could be possible, but this was called playing it safe and thinking that the other rooms I could get it done. And so because here I would have liked to have used Superior 6, I'm like, well, maybe this can work. I don't have hard light, and for this particular count I would have liked to have hard light. My only hope was that I could get past the Sasquatch. I couldn't, so I said, well, Robbie might not get a chance to do what he wants to do, so maybe I can just use the special here, at least get it on the 2 in the corner. Problem is, right there, Pav does what Pav does, and the counter is over pretty much because Icarus is dead. I try to play it out just to see if there can be anything done, but without Icarus, there really is no counter to take place. And so after the photon gets stunned and killed, I just cancel out. And I know I have to go back in with Superior 6, as Superior 6 would be the counter to this, especially with the size of his team, because they're basically 4 mil, and we're talking about a very huge Sasquatch. And so you guys have seen this play pretty much the same with Superior 6. When I'm using the Superior 6 Vulture against a full Spider Society, it's not much different. Only thing is the target will be Sasquatch till it's not. And so you just go all in with your starting moves as you normally would, and then as soon as you can, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and target the Pav and put the block from the Kraven on him. And then I figured that way they'd give me a chance to just kind of smooth sail the rest of this team. As you can see, just playing through the abilities in sequence, or really just choosing to not use the Slayer over the special makes this a really easy counter. So in my original plan, the Mercs and Ultimates are to be used on the Out of Time team. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I can make this work. Nightcrawler changes up a lot. And I couldn't remember if Zemo had a little bit more speed than Nightcrawler. And so I swiftly get reminded that he doesn't. Now, the problem really isn't that Nightcrawler goes first because he targets the Zemo. And so Zemo, he dodges, he doesn't get hit. But after that, the goal would have been to have Zemo go, then Old Man Logan go, and then just somebody else get targeted. Now, they do target my Deadpool, but that right there, the block on Logan, which I forgot, that's what Rogue does. She goes after Controller. Just killed that counter, so now I have 2 drops, and it's like, well, I doubt my opponent's going to drop 2 or 3 rooms, so it's like, let's just go in with New Warriors because that's really all you got. And this is going to be a double tap. And so what I did is I changed the Gwenpool of Skarm, because I think I heard Pat saying in one of his streams that changing it, I don't remember if it was Skarm, but I think it's Skarm, makes it for a chance with this counter against the Extreme. And in this case, him having a big Bishop pays off a bit because I get stuck behind Bishop much longer than I would like to have, because that Bishop died, of course, it would have been sped up. He's going to die anyway. And then I could have just maybe put the slow on that trio there with Gambit and had a chance to slow down the Forge. But that didn't happen, so now it's just all about, hey, maybe I can try to kill the Rogue because I'm not going to kill this team. You see Forge goes, they get sped up, and I know it's a double tap, but if I can get Rogue out of there, then I have a chance to clean it up with the Secret Defenders and Eternals, because that's really the only power team I can afford to use as a cleanup for this. And so it's going pretty smoothly until I start thinking, with Gambit targeting my Gwenpool, well, not in my Dazzler, but really my Gwenpool, if Gwenpool dies, then I have a chance. Now, Rogue bled out, and had I had a better sequence going, maybe I could have gotten the Nightcrawler a bit sooner, but I didn't. And so with Gwenpool dying out, and you can see that I don't have enough charges on my Death Pool, there's no way to one-shot him. And so I just go through with the attacks and like, hey, we'll just see what happens. And not much, but I knew it was going to have to be a cleanup with the Secret Defenders. The hope was just to get the Nightcrawler out if that was possible. And since it wasn't, it's like, okay, well, this is all you got that you can afford to do. Because you see the team on the side is basically, I'm going to use that on his Mephisto room. And, of course, I walk right into a Nightcrawler ult, so now Ghost Rider Robbie is out of commission. And with this team, you need all of them to really participate. But, of course, Ghost Rider Robbie is pretty key with this counter. So with him not going, that means that I'm not going to get the same passive attacks out of the Photon. And so that's a problem. So right there, I was able to do her special, which is helpful. And it's good to be able to get the Icarus and the Cersei ults off. But without the Ghost Rider Robbie, it's a little bit scarier. Now, fortunately, the abilities, the ultimates were used on the most part from all the other tunes except Nightcrawler. So I'm not as worried about that happening anytime soon. It's just that Nightcrawler's ability to heal, so it's like, and heal substantially. So it's like, okay, well, you got to just keep focusing in on him no matter what. Even though he had that evade or dodge and he got out the way, it's like, it doesn't matter. Let's just clear it up and just keep trying to hit him, because at this point, he's the main damager or threat on the team. Now, Robbie didn't get a chance to do what I wanted him to do when the time was right, but he did help, and so that led to this room at least being cleared. Because at the end of the day, if I can clear all rooms, then there's a chance that maybe my defense can hold, even if I didn't do so well on the offensive end. And so now I'm back to the Mercs, and I was thinking Zemo, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm thinking Zemo, because my plan was going to Ultimus. And I picked Zemo, and they're like, oh, wait, I see Ultimus. Let me pull out Zemo, because the plan is go to Ultimus. So I pop out Zemo, I put in Ultimus, and you can imagine how this counter goes. But at the end of the day, the main thing is that with that Black Knight, as big as he is, Ultimus really softens him up a bit and preps him for Old Man Logan. Now, he heals and heals and heals, but at the end of the day, Ultimus did his part much better than the Zemo would have. So quite naturally, we want to take Ultimus when we see a Black Knight. And basically with this particular counter, it's all about Black Knight as the main damage. The rest of the team can hurt, but it's like focusing on him as much as possible. And so I don't even try to shift my targets, because like he's still at full health. And you can see the damage he put in on the docking. You can see that the Deadpool is dead. And so I'm just relying on Panda Pool to keep coming back so that I have a chance to get Old Man Logan going. Now, he gets going, we got Claws out. And clearly, the Black Knight is very strong because he's barely come down a bit off the green. And once again, the goal is to still stay focused on him. Now, I did think about shifting targets, but you can see the Star Brand fell over. And it's like, well, just keep on hitting the Black Knight because he is the threat. And so I'm whittling away at him. And so right here, we go with the ultimate again. And I think that pretty much seals the deal, because you see the rest of the team is about to die off. And so, once again, the main thing is just the Black Knight. He gets healed a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And that's a 3-diamond docking. So you can see the power he has as in an attacker. And so that just really got Black Knight out of there and just finished off the rest of this team for me. So I was a little concerned about having the Odin in the middle. And I think when I start doing this counter in the future, I'm going to go ahead and put Black Bolt in the middle. Black Bolt is important, but it's just to give those health stats to the team for the most part. I mean, he does come in handy, but when you're going against a Mephisto and Annihilators, of course, it's all about Odin. And so quite naturally, the attack goes to Odin in the middle. And I'm okay with that. It's just that they attack multiple times on Odin, and it brings him down so low that there is a thought or fear factor that, hey, my Illuminati is much stronger now. They could actually help kill my Odin. And you see Odin's still in the green, but he's really low. And so as the battle goes on, there's the sequence of attacks at this point is just really just to get the defense up on the Illuminati so they can last, just in case Mephisto does his ult, because I may need them. Now, I thought, okay, cool, we get the Odin special, but he didn't heal all the way up. fortunately healed up Illuminati enough that Ultimus did not kill Captain Britain, and I think that was pretty key at this particular time, because I was not able to even put any real damage in on Annihilators on Mephisto. And so that kind of saved the team, to save the counter, so Odin could get going, because Odin is not at full health. And had Captain Britain died, I think it could have gone very differently. Fortunately, he didn't. And so you can see here that Odin is just carrying the show. I have him as Raider, and I've used him before, most time as Striker, and I'm still not sure which one is better. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, Raider's better, Raider's better. And you can see the damage he's doing, but I do feel like he still does quite a bit of damage as a Striker. So we'll try him again as Raider, and then I'll look back at some of the older videos, because I have these two to compare to see which one is actually better for him, especially when we're talking about Cosmic Crucible.